Hey guys, tonight we stretch out under the velvet sky of ancient Egypt. The air smells like dry stone and desert spice, and the stars above you sparkle with the same brilliance that the builders of the pyramids once saw thousands of years ago. You're standing in the shadow of something impossibly old and astonishingly large, the Great Pyramid of Giza. You reach out and touch the time-worn limestone. It's cool, rough, and it's been touched by thousands before you: workers, priests, pharaohs, and probably a few curious goats. But you? You're about to go deeper than anyone else tonight. Now, just a heads up, you probably won't survive this, emotionally. Because once you learn the layers of history baked into every block, you'll never look at sand the same way again. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. Also, let me know where you're tuning in from, and what time it is for you right now. I love seeing our sleepy little global village grow. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. You begin at the base of the pyramid, craning your neck as the monument rises into the star-flecked sky. Each of its sides originally gleamed with polished white Tura limestone, now mostly stripped away. But try to imagine it fully intact, a beacon catching the morning sun, probably blinding ancient tourists and camels alike. Built over 4,500 years ago, it was already ancient when Cleopatra flirted with Rome. The mainstream consensus? The pyramids were royal tombs, built during the Old Kingdom era for pharaohs like Khufu, Khafre, and Menkaure. These weren't just burial chambers. They were part status symbol, part stairway to the stars, and part city planning flex. Think of them like a high-end condo with divine elevator access. But as your bare feet crunch over the gritty ground, you realize that calling this just a tomb is like calling the internet just a library. Historians still argue whether the pyramids served ritual, astronomical, or even technological purposes we no longer fully understand. The sheer engineering precision, perfectly aligned to cardinal points, measurements incorporating pi and the golden ratio, feels like overkill for one guy's eternal nap. Here's something fringe to tickle your third eye: some folks suggest the Great Pyramid wasn't even a tomb at all. No mummies were ever found inside it. Not a single hieroglyphic, either. It's as if someone scrubbed it clean, like an iPhone returned to factory settings. Spooky, right? You wander into the hypothetical past, where massive limestone blocks, some weighing up to 80 tons, are being hauled across desert plains. No wheels. No iron tools. Just manpower, sweat, and maybe, as some fringe theorists believe, a little alien help. Picture that team meeting: okay, Steve, you hold the space laser, I'll guide the slave labor. But back in the rational zone, Egyptologists think the builders may have used sledges and wet sand to reduce friction, a method supported by wall paintings and physics experiments. Still, it's hard not to squint suspiciously at the scale of the achievement. You're talking about a structure that remained the tallest in the world for over 3,800 years. That's longer than the gap between Cleopatra and TikTok. You sit on a warm stone, letting your mind drift. Above you, Orion's belt twinkles, the same stars believed to be tied to Osiris, god of the afterlife. Some believe the pyramids were arranged to mirror this constellation. Is it architectural coincidence? Or was it ancient Pinterest inspiration? There's a smell of incense and salt in the air, imaginary, yes, but vivid. A priest in a leopard skin robe passes by, carrying something wrapped in linen. He nods to you, even though you're centuries out of place. You're in a dream now, and dreams bend for bedtime history. In your dream, you're part of the workforce, possibly a well-fed, decently housed craftsman, not the whip-driven slave Hollywood insists upon. Recent discoveries suggest the pyramid builders were respected laborers, even buried near their project in neat little tombs. Maybe your co-workers gossip about Khufu's hair or complain about sand in the bread. Maybe you're the one who invented a way to angle the ramp just right and got rewarded with a week off and a jug of beer. Still, the mystery lingers. How did they lift those blocks so high? Were the ramps straight, spiral, internal? Historians still argue whether multiple construction techniques were used, depending on the stage. And if there was a master plan, it vanished like the scaffolding, leaving us with stones, silence, and speculation. A camel groans in the distance, shaking you from your reverie. You chuckle. Even in dreams, Egypt has great sound design. You lie back on the sand, still warm from the day's heat, and stare up. The pyramid looms silent, solid, stubbornly withholding its secrets. Beneath your head, the same ground trodden by emperors, explorers, grave robbers, and Instagrammers. Above your head, Orion waits. And you? You're just beginning. You feel the cool pull of sleep tugging at your limbs as your dream drifts deeper into the pyramid itself. The entrance is dark, but not unfriendly. You're guided not by torchlight, but by a soft, golden glow coming from the very walls themselves, etched with symbols you can't read, but somehow feel. They shimmer faintly like stars trapped in stone, humming with ancient intent. You step into the grand gallery, and your breath catches, not from fear, but awe. The narrow corridor stretches up into the darkness, corbelled stone arching high above your head like a fossilized wave frozen in time. It's perfectly straight, perfectly smooth, impossibly intentional. You walk slowly, reverently. Every footstep echoes a millennium. Above you, the king's chamber waits, a simple granite box of a room, but one that hums, some say literally. Modern acoustic testing suggests the chamber resonates at specific frequencies. Is it coincidence? Or was it built to enhance chants, rituals, or something else? Maybe, just maybe, the ancient builders understood vibration and sound better than we think. Maybe the pyramid wasn't just for the dead, but for tuning the soul like a musical instrument. Or maybe that's just the sleep talking. You reach the end of the gallery and find the hidden entrance to a chamber few ever see. It's not on the maps. It's not in the guidebooks. It's not even real, but dreams have different rules. A robed figure stands there, ancient and anonymous. You can't see their face. They hand you a scroll worn, gold-edged, slightly warm. You open it slowly, expecting secrets of the universe. Instead, it reads, "You are exactly where you're supposed to be. Rest now." The figure nods. Behind them, the wall shifts silently, revealing an inner sanctuary lit by an eerie blue glow. Inside, you see more scrolls, more mysteries, fragments of a lost knowledge that someone, somewhere, meant to preserve forever. You step inside, but the world starts to slow. Time softens around you, like the sand outside, like the parchment in your hand. Above, the stars begin to align. The belt of Orion settles directly over the pyramid's apex. Some say this alignment opens a portal, a celestial doorway where spirit meets sky. Maybe you'll walk through it. Maybe you'll just nap beneath it. But in this moment, it doesn't matter. The sand settles. The stone sighs. And in the great hush of Egypt's dreaming past, you finally let go. Sleep comes softly, like desert wind across an endless sea of stars. Good night, traveler. You find yourself walking deeper into the desert, though you don't remember standing up. The dunes rise and fall like sleeping giants, soft and silent beneath a sky soaked in stars. The moon hangs low, almost too low, as if it's leaning in to watch. Time no longer behaves as it should. Seconds stretch. Minutes fold. Somewhere, a jackal cries, but even its call feels like it's been wrapped in cotton. You come upon a weathered stone slab, half buried, its edges smoothed by centuries of sand. Strange symbols glow faintly across its surface, not the familiar hieroglyphs of falcons and eyes, but deeper ones. Older. They shift if you stare too long, like they're choosing how to be read. Beside the slab, half collapsed in the sand, is a low stone doorway. No marker. No guards. Just shadow and stillness. And leaning against the lintel is a figure. They're cloaked in dark robes that flutter even when the wind is still. You can't see their face. You're not sure they have one. But they feel ancient. Not in a decrepit way, but in the way stone remembers. Slowly, silently, they hold out a scroll. Bound in cracked leather, sealed with a symbol you recognize from somewhere deep in a museum's forgotten wing. You take it. It's warm. The moment you do, something shifts. The sands around you tremble slightly, as if exhaling. You look down. The scroll isn't made of papyrus. It's vellum, like medieval manuscripts. The ink shimmers faintly brown, like dried blood, or maybe just rust. The robed figure gestures, and you follow. Down stone steps that shouldn't exist. Past walls carved not with stories, but with star maps. Somewhere, something hums. Not a machine. Not exactly. More like the low, eternal tone of something waiting to be understood. And as you walk, the thought arrives, not loudly, but with the quiet certainty of a dream. Maybe the pyramids were never meant to be tombs. Maybe they were messages. You descend. And the desert above forgets you were ever there. The passage narrows as you descend. Sandstone turns to something else, cooler, smoother, not quarried but poured, almost like bone. The air doesn't grow stale. It thickens, like syrup, rich with the scent of old incense and something metallic. Not unpleasant. Just unfamiliar. Your fingertips brush the walls as you walk. They're covered in constellations, not the ones you know, but ones that feel familiar, as if your ancestors once named them in another tongue. A spiral here. A twin star system there. You start to wonder if the stars above were mapped after the temple below. You reach a chamber. It is impossibly round. Its ceiling curves like the inside of a great dome, polished to a mirrored obsidian. You can't see yourself in it. Only stars. Moving. Slowly. Accurately. As if the night sky is trapped inside. In the center of the room, a single dais. Upon it, a bowl carved from green stone. Serpentine? Jade? You don't know. Floating above the bowl is the scroll. Unfurled. The script within now glows with a pale, silver blue light, like moonlight caught in language. The robed figure steps forward, though you didn't hear them move. They place their palm over the bowl. They do not speak. But the symbols on the scroll shift again. They rearrange. And suddenly, you understand. Not words. But memory. You feel floods. Reignitions. Beacons from across the dunes. You feel hands etching stone before language was born. You feel songs sung to stars in a grammar no one living remembers. You feel builders who didn't build up, but inward toward meaning, not monument. And the scroll? It isn't a message for you. It's a reply. You open your mouth to ask a question, but the stars in the ceiling flicker and go out. Just one remains. And it blinks. Like an eye. You blink back. Then everything dissolves, quietly, like dust in wind. You awaken not with a jolt, but with a hush. The chamber is gone. No obsidian dome. No glowing scroll. No constellation maps pulsing with memory. You are standing at the edge of the dune again. The robed figure? Gone. The stone door? Now sealed, as if it had never opened. Just wind, brushing the sands in slow, deliberate strokes. You look up. The moon still hangs in the sky, but it's lower now. Heavier. Like it has been watching and is nearly ready to sleep itself. In the east, faint glimmers of morning. Not yet dawn, but the kind of silence that always comes before it. Birds, somewhere far away, test a single note. You sit. Not out of exhaustion, but reverence. The kind that stills your hands and slows your breath. You think about what you saw. You're not sure how long you sit there. An hour? A blink? And when you rise, the desert doesn't feel empty. The pyramid behind you isn't just ancient architecture, it's a page in a longer book. One you've only just begun to remember how to read. You walk away from it. The sand carries no footprints behind you. And somewhere beneath the dunes, the scroll still hovers, still waiting, still listening for the next traveler who dares to ask a question the stars might answer. You keep walking. No destination, just forward, your feet tracing a line between dawn and whatever might come next. The sand begins to change. Fewer dunes now. Firmer ground. The occasional stone pokes up like a memory trying to resurface. One of them looks suspiciously carved. Another has a notch that seems intentional, too square, too precise for nature. You run your fingers across it. There's a smoothness here, polished by time or by touch. Then you spot them, low ridges in the earth, forming near right angles. A faint rectangle taking shape beneath the wind-blown dust. You follow the lines, pacing the perimeter. It's the footprint of something long buried, an ancient structure lost to centuries of drift and silence. You crouch at a corner. There's something sticking out, a broken statue head, just the chin and part of the mouth. It looks serene. You smile at it, like you've stumbled upon someone else who knows the secret. You keep going. The ground dips suddenly. Not enough to fall, but enough to make you pause. It's a ramp, angled, smooth, just wide enough for sleds? You glance around. At the end of the ramp, there's an opening, just a dark square in the ground. And of course, because you're you go in. It's cooler inside. Stale, but not foul. You feel the temperature drop with each step. The walls are closer now, just wide enough to squeeze through. You slide sideways at one point, laughing nervously at your own stubbornness. You should have stayed outside. But then again, would you be able to sleep if you knew this was here and you'd ignored it? You descend. And descend. Then the hallway opens into a chamber. It's vast. Bigger than you expected, and somehow warmer than the passage behind you. The ceiling is high, with faint markings spiraling above like smoke frozen in stone. In the center of the room is a long slab of basalt, resting on 4 squat pillars. Not a tomb. Not an altar. Something else. You circle it. There are grooves carved into the slab, interlocking lines that look almost circuit-like. You blink. For a moment, you swear they pulse with dim blue light. You place your palm on the stone. Nothing happens. But your head fills with static. Not sound, just a hum. Not painful, but impossible to ignore. It fades when you lift your hand. You place it back again. Same thing. You try the other hand. The hum returns. You mutter, "What are you?" And then you hear it. A whisper. Not from the slab, from the wall behind you. You turn quickly, heart skipping. There's nothing there. But the whisper happens again. You follow it, tracing your way to a small indentation in the wall. It's a hole, maybe the size of your fist, with spiral carvings radiating outward. You lean closer. The whisper returns. This time, it sounds like, "Your name?" You jerk back. Your brain races for explanations, echo, auditory illusion, your own exhaustion. You're tired. You're dreaming. You tell yourself this out loud, like that'll help. But then you realize something else. The chamber's geometry isn't random. The pillars under the slab, the direction of the spirals, the placement of the hole, they all align with something. You grab your phone for light. You hold it above the slab. The carvings form a map. It's faint. Stylized. But you recognize the Nile. A crooked line to the east, Red Sea. A larger triangular icon where Giza should be. You snap a photo. The light flickers. Your phone dies. Of course. You're plunged into near-total darkness, save for the faintest luminescence from above. You breathe slowly, remembering the ASMR videos you fall asleep to. Inhale, count to 4, exhale, count to 8. Again. The hum returns. Not just from the slab this time. It's in the walls. The floor. It surrounds you like a low drone. And the longer you listen, the more it sounds like a melody. A scale. Notes rising and falling, discordant, strange, beautiful in a way you can't describe. You back away. Something clicks. A door? No. A mechanism. You glance toward the passage you came in from. It's not there anymore. The wall is smooth. Great. You tap the slab, then slam your palm on it. Nothing changes. The whisper returns. This time, it says something else. A word you don't recognize. But your body reacts to it: goosebumps, nausea, clarity, all at once. You say it out loud. And everything stops. The hum. The whisper. The subtle glow. All gone. Then you hear stone grinding. A new passage opens to your left. Narrower, darker, more inviting in a terrifying way. You take a step toward it. Then another. Because of course you do. You step into the passage. The silence here is different. It doesn't just muffle sound, it absorbs it. Your breath is quiet. Your footsteps vanish the moment they fall. Even your thoughts seem hushed. The walls are smooth, almost too smooth. You run your hand along one, expecting the dry rasp of stone, but it feels like polished bone. Cold. Ancient. Preserved. After a few meters, the corridor takes a sharp turn. And then, unexpectedly, a warm orange glow begins to rise from the floor. No flame, no visible light source, just a soft radiance seeping from the seams in the stone tiles beneath your feet. It illuminates strange pictographs along the walls. Not hieroglyphs. Not anything you've seen before. They show people tall, elongated, almost fluid in posture, standing in rings beneath constellations. In every image, they face upward. In one, their arms are raised; in another, they kneel before a towering being with no face, just a radiant crown of stars. You move slower now. Something is changing in the air. It's not just cooler, it's heavier, like the pressure before a storm. The light pulses with your steps, dimming and brightening in sync with your breath. You don't question it anymore. You just keep walking. The corridor ends in a chamber, round and domed. A mural spans the entire ceiling, deep indigo sky, ringed with a band of gold-leaf stars. The center depicts a single black circle, empty, surrounded by radiating white lines. You don't know why, but you lie down in the middle of the room. The stone is warm. The ceiling seems closer now. You close your eyes. And for a moment, you hear music. Not from around you, from inside you. A harmony buried under layers of static. A tune you know but don't remember learning. You hum it softly, barely audible. The floor begins to vibrate. Not dangerously, more like a massage chair set to its lowest setting. The warmth deepens. The ceiling mural starts to shift, subtly, as if the stars are real and you're watching them through glass. One by one, the constellations align. A familiar shape forms. Orion. But not quite. There's an extra star. A misplaced one. It pulses. And then the floor beneath you lowers. You're sinking. The room is descending, a cylinder of motion.